So here's Marnie and Morpeko. So this figure is probably my second most anticipated Pokemon trainer scale figure. Of course, Cynthia and Garchomp being the first. But I've been waiting for this one since this is the first Pokemon trainer scale figure that's not made by Kotobukiya, but instead is made by Max Factory. So I wanted to see how it compares to Koto. So the figure is based on Naoki Saito's illustration. Usually most of the Pokemon Center exclusives are. Of course, this is a little different from Kotobukiya's Artifacts J line, since the one who's been doing illustrations for that line is Ariga Hitoshi. So overall, I think Marnie here turned out great. Funny that some people are saying, even before the pre-orders, when they revealed the colored prototype for this, people are saying that her forehead is too big or her eyes are too small. But honestly, looking at this in person, well, I like it. I mean, it's a great figure. The paint and sculpt is great. The Team Yell base looks cool. A little like fresh air from the usual Pokeball base from Kotobukiya. But of course, my favorite bases will still be the ones from the Pokemon Center exclusive Elisa and Skyla. I mean, they just look premium compared to the others, right? So anyway, the paint looks great overall, but I do want to mention that there's a user in MFC that has like a probably a factory defect on the paint or like finish on his figure. He noticed that the face looks a little bit glossy, and if you can see in this picture, it is actually compared to the Kotobukiya ones. Fortunately, mine didn't have this issue, but I did notice the right hand of my figure does have a little bit of gloss, which makes it look unpainted, but it's a little issue from a small part of the figure, so it doesn't really bother me that much. But I just want to put it out there, and you wouldn't really notice it if you're viewing it from a normal viewing distance for a 1/8 scale figure, but if you do look very close, you'll see the difference in finish. There's a little bit of gloss in her hand and compared to her face or her legs, which has more of a matte finish, right? And we have Morpeko here. He looks good. There's really nothing much to say about him, but I do want to point out again the seams on his joints. This might be nitpicking for others, but I really hate seams, especially if they're noticeable, and this is not just an issue for this specific Max Factory Pokemon figure. Kotobukiya also, with their recent releases, have like noticeable seams on the Pokemon, which I really don't get why they can't hide them anymore. I mean, before, like their previous releases, they didn't have this issue. Like looking at this three Pikachus from Porobukia, one released somewhere at 2016, one at 2019, and the latest one from 2020. Their first two Pikachus were seamless, so no noticeable seams on the joints, but this latest one, it has those ugly seams. So I don't really get why. I'm not really familiar with the sculpting process. Maybe it's easier for them, maybe it's more cost effective. I really don't know. So here's also their Charmander. This is from Kotobukiya also, like them. This Charmander is almost perfect from the sculpt, the paint, and the pose, but I just can't get over those ugly seams. It's a little bit disappointing, especially when they made them seamless before. I mean, I wouldn't complain if the first figures they made already have noticeable seams, but hey, not really a deal breaker for me. I mean, the main focus of this line really are the trainers, right? So a little bit disappointing, but hey, not really a deal breaker for me. In terms of scale, Marnie stands about 8 inches tall at 1/8 scale. She pairs up well with the Kotobukiya figures. Here's her side by side with other 1/8 scale figures from Kotobukiya. Here's her beside other young Pokemon trainers like herself. And here's her besides older Pokemon trainers slash gym leaders. Of course, Elisa would tower over anyone. I mean, being in her like 20s and being a supermodel and all. And for those who are asking, yes, I did pre-order her from Amazon Japan for retail. And if you're trying to get her now, expect a little bit of price increase since the aftermarket prices for these figures are crazy. So if you see someone selling her for retail or slightly above retail, my advice is to get her now, since this Pokemon Center exclusive figures usually don't get re-releases compared to the ones that Kotobukiya are releasing regularly. So do get her now if you really like her. Her aftermarket prices may or may not increase further, but this figure will unlikely have a re-release, but who knows, maybe they will, maybe they don't. So that's about it for Marnie. I mean, she's great, she's a great figure. She blends well besides the Kotobukiya ones. If I would rate her, I'll give her like 4 stacks out of 5. So thank you so much for watching. Since you made it this far, please do like and subscribe if you like this type of content. The next figure would probably be Cynthia in Garchomp, which is releasing on September, so watch out for that. So anyway, thank you so much. See you in the next video, I guess.